So we're going to change the oil. It's best to warm the engine and the oil will flow faster, and that will mean it will take away more of the cack out of the sump with it, so it'll just gush out. So crack off this, because this is going to allow air in, the oil will come out faster. And then remove your engine cover, which has 2 or 3 lugs. So gently, don't just yank it off. When they get old and brittle, you'll crack it. You might crack the lug sockets. Just ease it off, out of your way. And then you can see down there the oil filter housing. I'm going to remove this bracket here to get this out of our way so we can get down there. And then underneath, my trolley jack is in use elsewhere. I've used a vehicle jack. Do not go under a vehicle on a jack. Put at least an axle stand under there to catch it when it falls, or you are going to get squashed. But up there, Torx bit, loosen this off. Not lose that. This bracket comes off. And we can gently, let's have a look. There's a plug socket there we can remove. I don't think we need to, no. And then we can just about get down there. Okay, for the oil filter housing, I don't even have a big enough socket in millimeters. I'm using an 1.25 inch socket, so Imperial. It does fit good enough, but yeah, you need quite a big socket for that there housing. Okay, whenever I'm changing oil and filter, just crack off the filter, whatever kind you got. Just ease it off a little bit, because as it all gets hotter when you warm the engine, things expand and they can be harder to get off. So just crack it off a little bit. And equally, I'll tell you why the wheel's off in a second. Equally, just crack off here the 17mm sump plug. Just loosen it a bit, just so it makes it easier. Warm your engine and then we'll drain. I'd like to tell you I'll top the wheel off so that it allows you easier to see and me easier access. You don't need to take the wheel off to do this job, but you do need to put something under there, even if it's the wheel, to stop you getting crushed, especially if you're using the car jack and not a trolley jack, even more so. The wheel's off because that sump plug, I had to get a bar on it. It was so over tightened or so tight. And a lot of this is everyone's using impact drivers instead of hand tools, and they're not finishing off torquing them up with a torque wrench setting. We're not going to either. We're going to do it up by hand, tight. But impact drivers just whacked up. Even my custom van, my Transit, I couldn't change a wheel when I had a first puncture in 6 years. I couldn't change a wheel even by jumping up and down on a bar, because the guys at the tyre shop had obviously just impact driven it up so tight. So the wheel's off to make it easier. So they're loosened off. We're going to run the engine and warm it, and then we're going to drop that oil. So put some big sheet of cardboard down, save your drive or your garage floor. Try not to get engine oil up your arm. Wear gloves. Old engine oil is a carcinogen, cancer causing over time. Now, there should be on here a crush washer, I should imagine. Keep that in case you haven't got one, or a new sump plug and you're reusing the old one. Make sure you don't lose the crush washer. So we're undoing the bolt, we're keeping it pressed home, and then all of a sudden, there we go. Saves it running up your arm. Let's let that drain out. Why am I using a ratchet? Because my 25-year-old ratchet broke yesterday. Make sure you your catch tank, your oil tray, whether it's a cat litter tray, a washing up bowl, or something you bought from a shop, is underneath in case we lose a bit of oil. Again, don't make a mess. Okay, it just fits out with a bit of manoeuvring. And there we have the filter. We should have new O-rings to go with that in the box, so let's find out. I've dripped it everywhere. It's your fault. Work tidy, take a bit of pride. O-ring, O-ring, O-ring. We've got new O-rings, let's use them. Two things to remember. Which way did you take that off? It's got a top and a bottom. I didn't check. Luckily, this has got stamped on there. Bottom. You can't see, it's not focusing. So that helped me take a photo, put it down without thinking about filming stuff. And also, it's obvious where the two smaller O-rings go. Oil the O-rings first. They got enough oil on them. Just putting them in place. Make sure they're oiled when you put this back in the car. This was on, I think, the third one down. Still looks really strange to me. I'm putting it up the top there. I think I'm going to move that up the top there. I don't think it should be on the third one down, the previous O-ring. So I'm going up to the top one, because that's where it would make sense to me that it's going to go. Now this card got an oily sump that looked like it was coming from the sump plug, which didn't make sense because the sump plug was so tight, rammed up tight. Often you can get away with using the old sump plug and the old washer. Thank God this one actually came, this service kit came with a new plug and washer, because the reason this was bollocked up so tight, and the reason I guess it was leaking, this had black gasket sealant both sides of the crush washer. So this has leaked. Someone's reuses, it's leaked. They've obviously gone to the hassle of taking it out, draining the oil again, cleaning it, and smothering it all with gasket sealant to stop it leaking. Just use a new one, or at the very least, a new crush washer. What a fiasco. Getting that lined up. Start doing it hand tight, make sure you're not cross-threading anything. Make sure you've oiled those O-rings. going down one groove to the bigger groove there, which also isn't part of the thread. The threads start here. We had it in the top groove and it came out the groove and it sat more like a gasket under this top lip. I could feel it, so it probably wouldn't have leaked because we'd done it up tight, but it's an O-ring. It should slide in, not be a gasket. So I've moved it down to this wider groove. Let's see. Why didn't we put it there in the first place? Because it didn't look right. And you can't rely on the last person to do the job actually having done the job right. But I think they had. Yeah, just felt better. That was right. Yep, we were right to move that down. Car's not on level ground, just help to jack it up to tip the drain hole to be the lowest point of the sump, obviously. This should spin home easily. It's not because it's been done up so tight, I think. So it's a 32mm socket for the filter, it's a 19mm for the plug. It is the lifeblood of your engine, and regular servicing is what will make your engine last a long time. A long time. If you don't think that, buy yourself a Transit Custom with a wet belt. And don't bother changing the oil, and you'll see the impurities that the oil drags out of the engine, all from the combustion, wear and tear, will rot that belt, and it will break well within the specified cam belt change. The oil is critical. Good quality modern day oils means service intervals are longer. I still do them slightly, or in the case of Ford, a fair bit under the manufacturer's recommended intervals. You don't have to be silly and change your oil every 1,000 miles. Just keep on top of it. If you want to keep that vehicle and you want to love that vehicle. It's lovely now, it's going easy. I did have a little tough spot there on one of the threads. And we'll do that washer up tight, but we don't want to put everything we've got behind it. So I'm going to put about 4 litres in, run the engine on level ground, let it settle, check your dipstick and see where it is, and top up as necessary. Look at that. Got it everywhere. Ugh, annoying. Okay, ran the engine for a few seconds to fill up the oil filter. And now we let it settle and we're going to check the levels. Just on the bottom of the dipstick there. I don't know on this model, from the bottom of the dipstick to the top, it could be as little as half a litre. Give that a second to run down into the sump. Make sure your car's level, of course. Left and right, forward and back. So we're about 4.5 litres. Wants to be between the minimum and maximum, but it wants to be at the maximum really, not overfilled. Pretty much there. I'm going to run this, drive the car, get it on level ground, just double check. Happy with that. Use about 4.5 litres. Keep the rest for topping up. So just go through it. Filler cap's done up, dipstick's done up, you've got your O-ring right, and you've got your oil filter done up, and you've put a new crush washer or a new sump plug on washer, and you've tightened up the sump plug. Don't forget that. You check your oil level, take the car for a little spin, go and have a cup of tea, leave it on level ground, and just double check you've topped that up nicely. Overfilling is in many ways probably worse than slightly underfilling. Don't go way over the full mark on the dipstick. Job done.